guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. This is attempt 1 but week 2 of Prompt to Prompt in August. Obviously last week did not go to plan. I'll link my last kind of vlog regarding that situation up above. It was basically, I ended up making it a productive to-do list kind of vlog because I felt ill and I didn't read for basically the entire week of the first week of August, but we are rolling with it and I'm officially back now. I'm feeling a lot better and I have the capacity in my brain to read rather than just sleep on the sofa now, which is great. So in last week's vlog I did pull a second prompt for Prompt to Prompt, which was TBR Vet. So I picked up The Year After You by Nina DePass. This has been on my TBR since like 2021, I want to say. It was a gift from a lovely subscriber, so it's about time I read it. It's a YA book basically following our main character, Cara, who's been shipped off to the Swiss Alps into a boarding school of only like 200 students because something in California in her hometown has made her really kind of get inside herself, kind of really become a shell of herself, because she's kind of dealing with depression because of after a tragic accident happening to her best friend. So it basically just follows how Cara can kind of live again with this different situation that she's kind of been thrown into. I'm 100 pages into this, hoping I want to try and finish it tomorrow because I'm reading it really quickly. So I'm hoping I can read a chunk of it this evening and then finish it off tomorrow, fingers crossed. And the other little public announcement I want to make is I feel like I need to officially DNF Daisy Jones and the Six, because yes, I'm enjoying it, but I have no pull to pick up whatsoever, and I don't see the point in pushing myself through this book if I'm not kind of inclined to pick up and read it. I never wanted to read this book in the first place, and then a TV show came out and then I kind of felt inclined because everyone was raving about TV show, so I picked this book up hoping I could read it. But I'm just not really vibing with it. Like, I'm enjoying it when I'm reading it, especially the audiobook. I think the audiobook's a fantastic way to consume this book, but I never have any draw to pick up. What I might do is give myself one commute tomorrow to listen to this book, because I haven't given it basically its full potential, because usually I listen to audiobooks to and from the way to work, and last week I worked completely from home because of my cold and because I wasn't feeling 100%. So I worked fully from home, so I didn't commute last week, so therefore I didn't have time to listen to an audiobook. So therefore I've been kind of like putting this one off. So do I give this another chance this week, just kind of see where I get up to with having a commute, or shall I just completely switch up my audiobook pick? I don't know, I'm kind of undecided. So that's kind of like the dilemma I'm currently in. But happy Monday, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog, which will be a weekly reading vlog this week, which is very exciting. I'm excited to get back on track and finally like read some good books in August, because I've only finished one book so far this month and I'm ready to read some more. So those are the two books I'm in the middle of, definitely in the middle of this one and will finish it, and this one, I don't know, undecided yet. I will keep you posted. Happy Tuesday. I've just got home from work. It's so miserable outside. I cannot wait to change into my PJs, get my dressing gown on, have a pucker pie for dinner and just read, because Marcus is mum's tonight, so I have like an hour or so to just like chill and read without any interruptions, and I'm so excited. Before my camera battery dies, I would like to say I did give Daisy Jones and the Six one last try as on my commute to and from work today as an audiobook, and enjoying it. I'm now almost at the halfway point, so I'm definitely going to continue with this and hopefully finish it this week, so keep watching if you want to hear my thoughts, because so far so good. I am enjoying it when I'm reading it, but it's just kind of like one of those books where when I put it down it's really hard to put back up again. And I read on my lunch break as well today, so I'm now like 185 pages into this. I wanted to try and finish it today, but I'm not sure if I will, but that's the evening plan. I'll keep you posted, and yeah, happy Tuesday. I wanted to be all aesthetic, but it's really hot in my dressing gown. I hate living in a hot house. I used to live in a really cold house that didn't have any insulations in the walls, so was used to wearing my dressing gown 24/7. If you were around for my reading vlogs back at home, then you guys know I lived in this dressing gown. I barely wear it anymore because the house is too hot. I am hot, and I'm about to have a pucker pie for dinner and have a cup of tea, and I just can't survive in this dressing gown whilst eating hot food and drinking a hot drink. I'm gonna die. But I want to be all cozy. Urgh. Happy Wednesday. I'm just about to leave for work for the day, but I thought I'd update on how much I read yesterday of these two books. So yesterday I read up to page 248 of The Year After You. Obviously not managing to finish it, but I only have like 110 pages left, so I'm kind of hoping I can finish it today. But I am over at my mum's for dinner tonight, so less reading time in the evening, so we'll see, but fingers crossed, maybe, hopefully. And then I smashed a hell of a lot of Daisy Jones. I started on page 109 and I'm now on 228. So I'm definitely making good progress in this, and I'll probably finish it tomorrow, kind of with my commute to work today and then back today, and then also a bit probably tomorrow. I'll probably end up finishing it, which is a miracle in itself. I am enjoying this one. It's just kind of like a little bit kind of, like I keep saying, hard to pick up sometimes, so I feel like I can't give it as high of a rating as I would usually give a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, just because of like the difficulty of constantly having to pick it up and not being in the mood for it until I start listening to it. So I'll probably end up giving this like a 3.5 because I am enjoying it. It's just nothing like amazing that's kind of keeping my attention, but I'm really invested in the characters and I want to see where they go, and they do feel like real people, and I do want to hear the music, so I definitely will be watching a TV show afterwards. This one is kind of like your typical YA. I like how there's constantly kind of like an intrigue, even though as a reader you keep learning about different secrets that all these characters hold, but there's still always some sort of intrigue throughout that keeps making you turn the page. So I'm enjoying this aspect. I definitely think I would have enjoyed this more if I read it when I was a lot younger, because it's definitely a YA book. But there are some like good topics of grief in this book, which I kind of appreciate, kind of learning how to kind of let go and move on with your life after you've lost someone important to you. And it's just an interesting concept of a book, but kind of like nothing incredibly special, so probably once again it'll probably be a 3-star. So this week might not be the best reading week, but I'm happy to be like back to full-fledged reading again, and I'll keep you posted. Happy Thursday. I'm 100 pages away from finishing both of these books, which is really exciting. So I'm on page 100. I'm on page 303 of Daisy Jones, so yesterday I managed to hit the 300 page mark, which is brilliant, and I'm enjoying it once again. I feel like I haven't told you about what these books are, but I feel like everyone knows what Daisy Jones is. It basically just follows a music band through like the 70s and 80s and kind of how they became to be really popular, and you do kind of get that sense of like you wish these artists were real, and these musicians were real, so you could listen to their music, which I think is what the TV show kind of did. So I believe there may be an album out now based on the TV show, but I'm not too sure. I need to dig into that once I finish, because I don't want to spoil myself by kind of like searching for the album and it spoil the ending. But there's never anything in this book that really kind of keeps me wanting to read. There's never like enough intrigue for me. Like I'm interested in the story and I'm enjoying the plot, but there's no like, oh, how's the ending gonna happen? Like what's the ending gonna be? Like how's she gonna wrap this up? Because you could just listen to this book for hours and hours and hours and they can just keep documenting what their band went through, but there's no kind of like, I feel like there's not going to be an end, like a satisfying end point. But I'll find out today because I've only got an hour left of the audiobook, so we'll see, and I'll come back with my full thoughts on that one. But I feel that'd be like a 3 stars. And then I'm less than 100 pages away from the end of this one as well. I'm on page 266 and it's a 360 page book, so I'm like pretty much bang on. Oh, it's 340, so I've got 80 pages left of this, so I'm hoping I can get this done today as well. That would be brilliant. Once again, feeling like a 3 stars. This book basically follows our main character, Cara, who has a really tragic accident happen to her. So her mum, who they live in America, ships her off to Switzerland to go to a 200-person boarding school in the Swiss Alps, so she can kind of like get away from her tragic accident, because her mum believes that her like depression and her restless nights and stuff are kind of, she's not really faking them, but I feel like her mum doesn't believe her 100% on what her kind of like PTSD is. So she sends Cara off to the Swiss Alps to try and like fix her, and then she ends up kind of like holding these secrets of what's happened really close to her heart with when she makes new friends in this new school. And then you realise that the reason everyone is in that school is because they all have secrets, and it's kind of like it's called Hope School, and it's kind of like everyone's last chance to kind of have like a happy ending. So she makes friends with other people who have close secrets to their hearts that are not revealing, and then you kind of like see them all grow and kind of share their secrets and realise that sharing kind of lessens the burden on kind of what you're dealing with. So I love that message in a YA because I think that's great. Obviously like sharing is caring, and like speaking to people about your issues can kind of help lessen the burden of them. And then also there's a really good conversation on grief and kind of like losing your loved ones as well. So It is an interesting book. I think it's a really well written book for a YA. I just wish I'd read it a couple of years ago because I feel like I would have got more of an impact on reading it if I'd read it when I was a bit younger, because it is a YA. So that's kind of how I feel. Like, it's a good book, I'm enjoying it. Like, I love the intrigue on some aspects of some of the secrets that the characters are holding close to them, but at this point we kind of know all the secrets and I'm just intrigued to see kind of how it wraps up. I'm hoping a happy ending for Cara, but we shall see. So hopefully I can finish this one as well today, and then hopefully, a lot of hopefullys, I'll get to pull 2 more prompts. A new one for my audiobook, and a new one for my physical. Fingers crossed. Exciting. Hi guys, happy Friday. I'm now off for the weekend. I've got today off work, which is very exciting. I thought I'd sit down with you because I finished both of my current reads. This one yesterday, this one like the last 10 pages this morning, because yesterday evening didn't end up how we expected. Unfortunately, one of our neighbours lost its dog on its walk, so a lot of the community kind of got together and tried to look for the dog. So me and Mark were out for about an hour and a half looking for a kind of brand new puppy to the family. It was very sad, unfortunately. There's no update and they still haven't found it, which is really, really sad, but that's what we spent most of the evening doing. We kind of really tried to look for the dog yesterday, so I didn't have time to read yesterday. So I finished the last little bit of this book this morning. I'm now at my desk. I just thought I'd take you through Core Pile on what I rated them, because last time I did this everyone seemed to enjoy it, so I thought I'd go through that, and then I thought it'd be fun for Mark to pick out the prompts for my next 2 books. So a little bit of a fun little segment of the vlog. So first off, obviously we'll start with Daisy Jones and 6, so I finished this one first. So we'll go to the last 2 books. This was my 47th book read this year, which is exciting. My goal is 50, so I'm definitely going to hit my goal of 50 books. Yay! So I gave characters an 8 for Daisy Jones. I did like the characters. I always like Taylor Jenkins Reid characters, so that was kind of like a known fact going into this book that I was going to enjoy the characters. Atmosphere, I enjoyed it. I definitely felt like I was on the road with the band. I definitely felt like I kind of got a real insight into the band's kind of backstory. But I didn't think it was anything special. I'd much prefer some of other Taylor Jenkins Reid's atmospheres, so I gave that one a 7. Writing, I always love Taylor Jenkins Reid writing, but I definitely feel like if it wasn't for the audiobook for this one, which is why it's got a deduction of a point, it's got 7 instead of an 8, like I usually give Taylor Jenkins Reid. If it wasn't for the audiobook, I wouldn't have got through this book at all, because I couldn't get to grips with the writing style physically. I tried to read this book originally physically, and I couldn't get my head around all the characters and how it was kind of written in an interview format, but you didn't have the questions, you only had the answers from each of the band members, and then there's a lot of characters trying to wrap your head around. So if it wasn't for the audiobook and the fact that it was a multicast, I don't think I would have vibed with this book at all. So I kind of dropped a rating for writing. Plot-wise, 6. It was an interesting plot, but nothing really happened, so I gave it a 6. Intrigue, 6. Once again, that's kind of what I've already spoken about in this vlog. I enjoyed it when I read it, but I had no inclination to constantly keep picking it up to kind of find out what happened, so I gave Intrigue a 6. Logic, can't fault the logic, 7. And then overall enjoyment, I enjoyed it, but it was nothing special. It's definitely not my favourite Taylor Jenkins Reid, so I gave it a 6. It came out at 6.71, which is a 3 stars, which is kind of what I predicted. So that is that one. And basically those are all my thoughts on it. It was good, I enjoyed it, nothing special. I now do want to watch a TV show because I think it'll be interesting to kind of really see those characters come to life, and I have heard good things about the TV show. Obviously I finished The Year After You, which I finished just this morning, and I did actually almost tear up at the ending. I'm very, very happy Cara kind of got the ending that she deserved. So overall, I gave every single rating in Core Pile a 6 because I enjoyed this book, but it was nothing special. The characters were good. They could have definitely had a bit more character development, a bit more flushed out, but it is a YA, and I'm so used to reading adult books now with more kind of depth in the characters that not having as much depth in a YA is kind of, it throws me off a little bit, but that's kind of understandable. It's a YA, so I gave it a 6. Atmosphere, once again, it's set in a school. You didn't really have any kind of like proper nice descriptions of what the school was like. You just kind of knew it was in the Swiss Alps from the blurb, so I gave it a 6 again. Writing, it was a YA, very simple writing, very easy to digest, 6. Plot, it was an interesting plot. It was definitely kind of a unique plot that I hadn't kind of read about before, but once again, it was just kind of fine. It was good, so a 6. Intrigue, that's kind of where the strongest kind of aspect of this book was the constant intrigue of all the secrets behind all the characters. But once again, they were kind of like your generic high school secrets, so I gave it a 6. Logic, 6. Enjoyment, 6. So it came out at exactly a 6 on Core Pile at a 3 stars. So comparing these two, I enjoyed this one more, which I do think is accurate, but I still both gave them 3 stars. So those are the 2 current books I've just finished. Those are my Core Piles. So let me cancel this recording. So yeah, let's head down to Mark and get him to pull 2 more prompts for me, and then we'll pick between audiobook and physical. Yay! Do you want to pause the TV? Okay. We're now here with Mark. You're going to have the honours of pulling 2 prompts. One for my audiobook, one for my physical.
Okay.
So, here's my TBR jar.
Try and get it with my tongue.
You can do if you want. Rummage around, rummage around, rummage around. If it's 2 in 1, then obviously I have to combine both prompts for one book. What?
You might not like this one.
What?
Intimidating read.
That's fine, I can do that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I have an idea for that one.
Okay.
Is it 2 in 1?
What?
No.
I might like this one.
What's this one?
Favourite colour?
I've just had that one, but redo. I've literally just had favourite colour this month, so we'll redo that one.
Hey.
Don't put it back in.
Yeah. What's the chances?
What are the chances? There's so many in there.
Comfort read.
I can do a comfort read.
She's doing a comfort read.
Okay.
Do you know, got an idea for that one?
Yeah, I do have an idea for that
Cool.
one. Okay, very different. Intimidating and comfort.
Yeah. My job is done.
Thank you. Let's go pick the books. I know both of them, so that's fine. I have in mind which ones I'm going to pick already. Back up to the stairs, back up the stairs. Let's pick the books. Okay, I don't actually think I've ever pulled Intimidating Read out of my TBR jar. So Mark obviously pulled Intimidating Read for the first one. And this is going to be for my audiobook, but I'm going to kind of mix media it anyway. So if some days I just want to kind of read along to this book, I'm not going to restrict it just to the audiobook. But I'm finally going to read The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. I recently got a new trial run for Audible, and I ended up using all my credits for the audiobook for this because I thought it would finally help me get around to reading this book, because it's been on my radar since 2020. It was in the video of like books I wish I read in 2020. This is one of them. It's now 2023, so I'm going to finally read this with the help of the audiobook. It's going to be my audiobook pick, but if some evenings I just want to listen to the audiobook and read along with it, that is what I'm going to do. But I'm really hoping, I love this book, I've heard incredible things about it, so fingers crossed, this is my audiobook pick for the next couple of days and probably into next week as well when I'm commuting to and from work. This basically follows 2 sisters who grow up very differently and then kind of separate, and then they kind of like come back together, I believe. I don't know much more than that, but I love family dynamics and this one just sounds right up my alley, so fingers crossed. I love this one because I've been putting it off for plenty of time now. Comfort read is really easy just to pick the next I Heart book, because I do want to continue rereading that series, but I have just read one and I have come up with another option. I love The Dead Romantics. It's my favourite book of the year so far. I could reread that as an option because I do want to reread that book soon and tab it up and write in it. So I might do that, but I also want to read this book. I don't know. This is my next physical pick, is for comfort read. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Comfort read. And I have 3 options basically. I could either read The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Polston because I love The Dead Romantics so much, and so this is kind of like a new comfort author for me, so this could definitely work. I could then also read the next I Heart book, which would be I Heart Christmas. Very unseasonal, but who cares? It's Christmas. Or I could reread The Dead Romantics and tab it all up, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for a reread yet, so I'm undecided. Maybe both? I don't know. I don't know. I think it probably will be this one, but I'm unsure. I might end up reading this one, who knows, but I'll keep you posted. But yeah, comfort read, intimidating read. Let's go. Happy Sunday. I didn't vlog anything yesterday. There wasn't really much to update. Went to go see Grand Turismo, which was really good. Highly recommend seeing that in the cinema. And other than that, we just chilled. So I didn't really update at all. But I did start The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Polston, and Oh my god, I'm loving it already. Already kind of sensing it's going to be a 5-star. I read 116 pages yesterday and now I'm up to 160. I have no plans today apart from just batching some Instagram content ready for the week ahead. So I'm going to try and finish this because I'm listening along to the audiobook whilst reading it, and I only have 2 hours left of the audiobook, listening it on 2.5 times speed. So I have a feeling I can do that today and I am loving it. So it's very easy to read, very digestible, very cute, lovey, just your typical. I know I've only read one and she's only had one book out. No, she had more than one book out. The Dead Romantics just seems to be kind of like her big thing, but obviously she wrote the Geekerella series as well. I have Bookish and the Beat on my TBR, so I'm kind of more intrigued to read that now because I know I love Ashley Poston's writing style. So yeah, I'm loving this book. What I love most about Ashley Poston is, from the blurbs, it sounds like something I'm not going to enjoy. I don't like time travel, I don't like magical realism, I don't like anything kind of like out of the ordinary when it comes to my books and the book preferences I have. But Ashley Poston's books always have this kind of like paranormal, magical realism kind of twist to them, yet make them so accessible to read, even if it's not kind of like the tropes you might not like. I love how she writes them, and this one is kind of like time travel-y love story, so yeah, really enjoying this one. It basically follows our main character Clementine, who's once again in the publishing industry. Florence Day in The Dead Romantics was also in the publishing industry, and there's like little Easter eggs here and there of The Dead Romantics, which I love as well. And it follows Clementine, and she has a really close bond with her auntie, and her auntie lives in this kind of magical apartment that kind of time travels. And unfortunately, Clementine's auntie passes away, and her auntie leaves Clementine at the apartment in her will. So Clementine ends up moving into that apartment, and nothing ever magical has ever happened in this apartment for her until one day something does, and their love story ensues from there, and it is precious and I love it so much. Yay. So I'm going to try and finish that today, so hopefully I can give you an update on that. I haven't started at all The Vanishing Half, but that's to be expected. This is my audiobook pick for the week, so I'm most likely to start this kind of like on my commute to and from work, unless I finish this one really quickly this morning because it is only 9:20. I like to get my day started early, so I could potentially start this one today as well and kind of listen along and read along to the audiobook. So we'll see kind of how I go, but my main focus today is to smash out this one. I'm going to take some Instagram content now though, and then I'll literally just sit down and read for the rest of the day, so I'm very excited for my reading plans for the day, and yeah, I'll keep posted. I hadn't actually thought I'd finished so many books in the month of August. It's 3, plus obviously iHeart London, which is back with its little collection. But yeah, I have finished The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Poston? I should probably figure that out, seeing as I feel like she now has to count as one of my favourite authors, because she has ranked 2 books out of the 2 I've read by her 5 stars. Yes, I gave it 5 stars. It was so cute and I loved it in the sun. It was definitely a comfort read for sure. It was so heartwarming. It was just so lovely. I love the writing style. I love the relationships she always builds in the books. You always pine for a love interest. I love how she kind of subtly adds in a magical realism, fantastical element into her stories that make them feel so natural and normal, and I just loved the pining in this book for the main 2 love interests, and her friends were so adorable, and the relationship that she had with her auntie, although it's such an interesting dynamic, and I loved it. I would have shown you through Core Pile, but I gave every single section in Core Pile a 10 out of 10. So it came out as a 5 stars because I binged that book. I read it within 24 hours. I started it yesterday, I finished it today, and it was just what I needed for a kind of chilled weekend because we had no like plans really, so it was just nice to like curl up with a good book and like binge myself through it. And I just love Ashley Poston's audiobooks as well. I just think they really bring the characters to life. So highly recommend the other book by Ashley Poston as well as the Dead Romantics. I do feel like I still ever so slightly prefer the Dead Romantics just because the family dynamic in Dead Romantics is so much stronger, and that's what I love in books. I love a really strong family dynamic, and the fact that in the Dead Romantics you had a sister, a brother, a mum and a dad, and you all kind of really felt connected to all of those characters, kind of really just gave it that slight edge. But I still gave both 5 stars. Absolutely adored. So obviously I haven't started The Vanishing Half at all. I think I'm just going to save it till next week, and I'm also going to save putting my new prompt for my next physical book until next week's reading vlog as well. So little cliffhanger for you here. I'm going to end this vlog because it is Sunday afternoon. Mark is downstairs making spag bowl. I'm going to edit the rest of this vlog so it's ready for you guys next week. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let me know what's the best book you've read recently. I'd love to know what's your most recent 5 star, or just comment some star emojis in the comments down below. I would love to know that you got to the end. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.